country music, Eileen. That's exactly it.
Everyone. How are y'all doing on this beautiful morning? And yes, again, I have amazing hair. You don't have to tell me. Don't be jealous, Shane. I see you over there with all your pretty hair going on, but don't worry. Not everyone can have beautiful hair like this. God, dog, is that amazing or what?
Good morning.
Good morning, Rockstar.
Morning.
Shane is in his car. Hi, Shane. Guess what? I'm here finally.
I know. It took you a little bit. Nice to have you here.
Well, once I'm in.
Nice to see you on. Thanks for popping on today. Really exciting for you.
Thank you. Oh, Eileen, that's the pictures.
Yeah, that's my pride and joy.
I'm sharing her screen somehow. Let me see.
Come a long way.
Hey, Eileen, can you?
Awesome. That's a great story.
I'll get rid of it. The meeting's going to start right now, so I'll get rid of it.
I don't know how people take over my screen.
There we are.
Thank you.
Probably because they don't want to look at your hair.
I was wondering what was going on. I was like,
I heard that.
You're David.
And that's not good when y'all have my wife over here laughing at me too.
We all got to hang together. You're outnumbered too, by the way.
I'm what?
Are we ready to get started, Chris?
We are. We're going to give it another 30 seconds or so. Hey, guys, make sure that you're sending out any text. Let them know you guys are going to be in for a treat today. We have one of our superstar leaders that's going to be breaking down, how do we get started and how do we get started the correct way. So what you're going to know is that every Saturday morning, we don't have anyone jump on these calls. Let me mute everyone. Hold on. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn over the call to you, Rachel, and you'll be the host. But I'm gonna mute everybody now, and then you unmute yourself, and then I'll turn it over to you.
Perfect.
Let's see. And then the only way people, as they're entering the call, they'll be muted out. But sometimes people have a tendency to unmute themselves without knowing, so you might have to jump on every once in a while and handle that. But guys. Just so you know, every single week, we only have people that are actually doing the deal, people that are actually in the trenches, doing what it is that they're teaching you about. So this isn't theory. This isn't things that, hey, I think this might work if you do it. No, this is things that these leaders are actually doing. So Rachel Cunningham has been with us for a little while now, and she's been amazing, and she is working with a Rockstar Leadership, her sponsors and all the people that she has, being in Jen Marsh and Robin Griggs being in that whole group. So guys, y'all are in for a treat because Rachel is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to turn it over to her, and Rachel, the call is yours.
All right. Well, good morning, afternoon, wherever you are on the East or West Coast. Good to see you. I'm so excited to be here today to give you some tips for getting started well, right? We can all get started with something, but when we know how to get started well, that's when it really makes a big impact. So first off, I want to make sure that you have a pen and paper available just to jot down any notes, any little things that might stick out to you today. So I'll give you just a second as I share a little bit of who I am. So my name is, as Chris said, my name is Rachel Cunningham. I am from York, Pennsylvania. That's where I live now. I'm not from there. I've moved all over the place. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 children. They are 11, 9, and 6. And I came over to Elevacity in March of last year, so coming up on my 1-year anniversary pretty quick here. I came here because I was struggling in my health. I had lost 30 pounds on my own, but then I had stalled for 6 months and I couldn't figure out how to get past that 2 pounds up or 2 pounds down. And at the same time, I was in a previous company for 4 years where I was enjoying everything about the mission, but I wasn't making the income that I needed. And the hours I was putting in were not reflective of my income. So when I heard about Elevacity on Facebook, actually just through a random conversation with Jen Marsh in a social media coaching group, I knew that I at least had to try the product. And when I did that, I lost 7 pounds in the first 7 days. And to date, I've lost 65 pounds since last March. Still going. And when I knew that I had lost those first 7 pounds, I knew that this was something special. I knew that we had something that was not well known. I knew that we had something that was amazing, that was going to help many people. And I have been able to share with many people over the last year. So when I asked you to get a pen and paper available, that's actually the first thing I would recommend in getting started is get a notebook, get a piece of paper, have everything in one place. This is not even part of like the actual getting started, but this is just one of my tips. Like have a notebook where you can put everything down there, right? Like you make a contact with somebody, write it down. You think about something that you want to do for a social media post or something else, write it down. Some people don't use notebooks anymore. Use your notes in your phone, but have somewhere to dump everything so that if you have to look back at what a customer ordered or said or what a prospect said, you have a way to do that. It just improves your posture that much more. So just a little tip from me there. It's also a great place to document your team trainings and things like that. You don't have to do this, just something that I recommend. Okay, so now that we've covered that, let's talk about some verbiage that we want to take out of our vocabulary and how we can replace it to help our mindset and our success here as an Ellepreneur. Okay, are y'all with me there? Wouldn't that be good? All right, so you've joined. Maybe you've been here a couple of months, maybe you've just joined. And you are so excited to share with everyone you know, and you cannot wait to build the successful business for yourself. Stop right there. Okay? While you are in this business to reach your dreams, to reach your goals, and you want to get somewhere, right? To make a difference in your life, you need to change your mindset and realize that the number one reason you are here is to serve others, to serve others, to serve customers, to serve your team members that you're going to have, because you're all going to be rock stars, and even others in your upline. We all have talents and gifts that we've been given in life, and the ones that you bring to the table are what matter, and you've come here to serve in your full capacity. So if you can change that first initial thing into not what's in it for you, but how many people you're going to come here and serve, you're going to be off to a great start. Okay? So then in talking about serving, the next thing that you need to get rid of in that verbiage, and I don't want to sound like a boss, but these are just things that I recommend, right, is the word get. Okay, I need to get 5 customers to make X amount of dollars. I need to get this many Ellepreneurs on my team so I can be successful. No. Let's talk about how many we can help. How many can I help today? How many can I help tomorrow? How many can I help change their life with this business? If you change that wording, you are already postured up to be able to present this in a way that's much more meaningful, okay? Finally, the last piece that you need in getting started, transforming your mind, is disconnecting yourself from the outcome, okay? And falling in love with the activities that you're going to do to build this business, to help as many as you possibly can. When we fall in love with the activities, we forget about each outcome. It sounds really crazy. And if it's new to you, I challenge you this week to do those income producing activities that we're going to talk about now. And I guarantee you will see a shift in your business and even in your life if you think about who you can serve, who you can help. Okay? All right. So now that we've thrown out the verbiage, the negative verbiage with mindset and different things like that, what do we need to get started well? So first of all, you need to familiarize yourself with the back office. Okay, you need to kind of know some of where things are, how to do your smart ship, things like that. That doesn't take too much of your time. Don't let it take too much of your time. Don't sit there and try to comb through everything, because you don't have to know a lot to get started, okay? There's a simple system. So the simple system that this organization teaches is to think about the friends and family that you know need to hear about these products. Think about people that are struggling with depression. I live in Pennsylvania. The cold and all of that makes people really miserable, and the snow, okay? So think about those things that people need, because while we've lost weight on these products, some of us, the number one thing that these products do is lift the happy hormones. So even if somebody's not wanting to lose weight, if they're struggling with anxiety, or they're struggling with they're going through a rough time in their life, those are the people you want to reach out to. Those are the people you want to ask if they've heard about the happy coffee, right? Have you heard about the happy coffee? Now, for me, over the last few years, I've been in network marketing for a while, so I've learned some things that don't work for me and some things that do work for me. And so I really like to take the time to listen to what people say, okay? So if you're talking to someone, you're having a conversation, you're not just gonna go, hey, have you heard about the happy coffee? You want to build a rapport with them. If it's somebody you're friends with, you could ask them how they're doing. Listen for those key things that are going to help you to be able to transition and say, so if I had something to share with you that's really helped me, like, be more productive at home and has really helped me not be so impatient with my kids, would you want to hear about it? Yeah. Okay, so have you heard about the happy coffee? No. Okay, you have to hear about this, right? I'm going to send you a link that has 3 short videos. And that's that link that we share amongst this organization, ahappydose.com. If somebody wants to type that in the comments, that'd be great. And then you're going to send them those, you're going to ask them if they have time to watch those videos. That's a key point, asking them if they have time to watch them. Do you have, I don't even know how long the videos are, like what, 10 minutes to watch 3 quick videos, okay? And if they say yes, you say, okay, I'm going to send you a link, and I would love for you to tell me which, so I'm going to send you a link, and in this link are a couple of product informational videos, and the third one is a testimonial reel. I would love for you to tell me which testimonial stood out to you the most. So give me a thumbs up when you're done watching it. And now if you're with them, you would just stand there and you could show them the video, right? But quite often, all of us are so busy in society today that we typically text it to someone or send it in Messenger. So a way for you to continue to have control of that is to say, send me a thumbs up when you're done watching, okay? And then you're asking them what stood out to them, because you don't just want them to say, oh, that was great. You want to know the next step that you're going to take. So they say, oh my goodness, that one about the mom who struggled with anxiety, oh man, that just like speaks to my heart. And then you could say, you could then ask them, what other questions do you have before you get started, right? You want to take the posture that they are, that you know that what we have is the best thing to offer. Okay, so you don't want to be all wishy-washy, and you really want to approach them confidently. And you can do this in Messenger too. It's just in the way that you word things. Do you have any other questions before you get started? Well, yeah, I'm wondering about the ingredients. Most teams on here, I believe, I know that we have an amazing testimonial community. You can say, that is a great question. I'm going to invite you to our testimonial community because that question is answered in there. And then once you're in there, let me know, and I will tag you on that particular post. And then if you've talked to them a few minutes, you know that anxiety is an issue for them. You know that there's a testimonial in there about anxiety. You can also tag them in those. Anything you can do to connect them with more tools to help them make the decision is going to be beneficial. Okay? If they've watched the videos and they're not yet ready to order, then the next step is to invite them to one of our opportunity Zooms. We have them Monday through Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. And it's at, if somebody can put the website in there, that would be great. So that's another thing that you can do. And then the final step, once they've seen those, you can ask them what stood out to them on the Zoom. You always want to ask questions that are going to give you an answer back. Don't ever ask the yes or no questions, because then you've stopped that conversation dead in its tracks. And you're listening along the way. Okay, it takes some time to listen to them, but listening is going to get you there much faster than just spewing all this information about happy coffee to them. So the last step then, once they say, oh my goodness, this is amazing, how do I get it? Then you enroll them. You enroll them. Now, that's the perfect scenario, right? Sometimes people say, well, I don't know how this is going to interact, blah, blah, blah. Then you can offer them a sample. I always take the posture of offering them. They'll ask me, can I get a sample? Yes, you certainly may get a sample. A sample is a taste for you to decide if you like it. You may or may not feel the effects of what this coffee does in a 3-day sample. My best recommendation is to take the 30-day trial. It's 30 days, it's money back guarantee. You have nothing to lose but anxiety, depression, whatever they're dealing with. You can go back to that, right? Reminding them of why they came to you in the first place, or why you started the conversation, helps keep those wheels turning. So I don't send out a ton of samples anymore. I typically offer the 30 days. Then if they're like, well, I don't know, I've dumped so much money down on weight loss products, I've done this, I've done that, I don't know if I'm ready to commit to this. Okay, well, we do have a 6-day sample, which would give you a better idea. And that 6-day sample is available on our website, and I'd be happy to walk you through how to get that. Oh, okay, right? And then some people who have that broke mentality, you know who I'm talking about, they just want the free sample. Okay, I can send you 3 days worth, which is 2 sticks, because you do a half a stick for the first 2 days and a full stick for the last day. At least that's how I do it. But really starting at the top and working your way back down to the, I guess you'd say, cheapest is the way to go, because you know what you have to offer is most likely going to change their life in more ways than one. So present it that way, and get rid of the fear, because if you've been a listener and you're practicing the art of listening to what they need, then you've got something to offer them. And if you ask them if they're open to hearing, but you also give them a way out, it makes it less icky, right? So if we go back to the part where you're listening to the person and you say, would you be open to hearing about this? If not, totally okay. Because then they don't feel so pressured. And then usually they're like, yeah, tell me, I'd be more open. I'd be open to hearing. So those are the simple steps. And that's that step, along with staying connected to the stories of dose in my organization. So when I first started, it was staying connected to my upline and people I knew that I had heard their stories of dose, right? So if I knew somebody in this organization that struggled with fibromyalgia and had a lot of joint pain, but that wasn't something I dealt with, I immediately connected that prospect to that person. For example, if Robin Grigsby was someone that struggled with that, I actually don't even know your dose story. I probably should learn it sometime. But if she was somebody that struggled with that, right? And I had heard her story on a Zoom, because getting plugged into these opportunity Zooms in the beginning is great for you to hear the stories. You want as many stories as possible to be able to be able to connect and relate to people, right? Because you only have your story, which, by the way, you need to be a product of the product to sell these products, to share about them. I probably had too much coffee this morning, but you need to be a product of the product. You have to. You have to be able to have your own story, and then you have to be able to build from that. So let's say somebody says, well, I have struggled with fibromyalgia for the last 2 years. I'm on medication. I've done this. I've done that. Oh my goodness. I have a friend, Robin, who's struggled with this as well. And she has an amazing story of what dose is doing for her. I'm going to connect you with her. And it's putting them in a 3-way conversation, either by phone, if you're not real tech savvy or you don't do social media a lot. If you're more of a belly to belly person, it's doing a 3-way conversation. It's introducing them, saying, Robin, I want you to meet my friend Susie. She's struggling with fibromyalgia, and I just knew she needed to hear your story. How simple is that? You don't have to know any of the science. You just have to know the stories that are amazingly portrayed here in this organization. There are so many, and you just have to stay plugged in. And if you stay plugged into the stories, you can find any one of us to connect with. For example, I struggle with polycystic ovarian syndrome and Hashimoto's and difficulty losing weight because of that. I had fertility issues, my first 2 children, and my third one was a surprise, go figure. And so a lot of people will connect when somebody says they have PCOS. And I'm more than happy to quickly share my story, because my story is third-party validation to them that this stuff is working. And then my story is doing the work for you as the new Ellapreneur. Do you see what I mean? Like, you do not need to know that dose is dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. In my first, 6 months, all I did was connect people to the stories that were relevant to them, and they were ready to purchase because they had heard enough from not just me, but from somebody else that it made a huge difference to them. So staying plugged in to our team meetings, to our opportunity Zooms, of course you can't attend everyone, I get that, but is really going to help you in knowing how you can connect people. I feel like I just went all over the place, but hopefully you're getting some golden nuggets out of here. Be a product of the product and be enthusiastic. Nobody wants to buy anything from somebody that's like, well, I'm doing this happy coffee and it's helping me with my, patients, with my kids, and it's helping me. No, like, oh my goodness, you have to hear about this happy coffee. It is amazing. It is amazing. And, a lot of times you don't find as many stories about this. So I'll end with this one. A lot of times I get people to say, well, I don't need to lose weight. In fact, I'm underweight. So can I still take these products? Yes, because they are so smart that your body does what it needs to do. Let me tell you about my son. I have an 8.5-year-old. He struggles with very high levels of anxiousness. super high. Like, used to have 2.5 to 3 hour tantrums every night when he'd come home from school. That's part of the reason we're homeschooling. But he still had those tantrums even when we were homeschooling. And in March, I gave him a Xanthamax. And his level of anxiousness went from a 10 to a 2 in 20 minutes time. And I thought, oh my goodness. But my son doesn't need to lose weight, clearly. And my oldest takes it for focusing issues, and he doesn't need to lose weight. He's like 77 pounds at 11 years old. So actually he's put on some weight now, but does not need to lose weight. But those are the stories that you want to stay tapped into so that you know how to share it with others. Let me see if there's any questions. Which community page you send them to. So if you want to make sure, this is the thing I forgot, that you connect in a welcome call with your immediate upline. Whoever's the next most active person in your upline, whether that be your sponsor or maybe you have a sponsor that doesn't really do much with the business, you want to connect with the people in your upline who are actively building so that you have another avenue of communication, and they most likely will have that information where this testimonial community page would be for you. I know there are certain leaders that have started them, so I don't know where yours would fall, but you definitely want to figure that out, and you can find that out by doing a welcome call. The last thing is, if you've joined this business just because you want to, get your product for free, make sure you let your upline know that. If you've joined this business because you need to make a difference in your family's income, let your upline know that. If you join just for the discount, let us know. Because the more we know about your intentions here, the more we can help you, right? And it's all about helping and serving every person that we meet. I just wanted to share 2 scenarios quickly. I don't want to go over too much more than this, but 2 more scenarios. So a lot of people might be more belly-to-belly people, and then some of you might be more social media. So social media-wise, there are 5 really key things that you can do on social media that don't take more than 10 to 15 minutes a day that will make a difference. And those, sorry, I heard a weird noise. Those things can actually be found in a group that we started in this organization called Attract, Grow, Connect. Okay, you can find it on Facebook. Join if you're not in there. And in there, I have covered 5 simple tips that you can do every day on social media to propel your business forward. So you can just search for my name, Rachel Cunningham, and you can watch that video. I knew I wasn't going to have time to cover all that today, but I wanted to share it with you because there's some helpful things that people don't think about. Now, if you're belly to belly, you want to find different ways to weave this into your conversations. So let me give you 2 examples. Oh, my kids just came home. My first example is I went to the dentist 6 months after I started these products. My gum deterioration, whatever they do to count like how much your gum line has receded, my levels had gone from 3s and 4s, which are bad apparently, to 1s and 2s in 6 months' time. And the only thing I had changed was taking my Xanthamax and drinking my happy coffee. So when that happened, I said to the hygienist, "Can you tell me what my 1s were last time I was here?" And so she told me. I said, "Whoa, that's a huge improvement." She's like, "Yeah, what have you been doing?" Boom. Well, I've been, using a supplement that has turmeric and a nutraceutical called Xanthahumol, and apparently that's really been helping me. And she was like, "Oh, I need to know about this." She's one of my loyal customers to this day. It's just listening and finding ways to weave what you're doing into conversation. So don't know if there are any questions, and I certainly want to be mindful of time. If any of the leaders are on here, if I missed anything, let me know. But hopefully you all found something super valuable today. And I hope that, you can get started this week off to a great start and get started well. Have a great day.
That was awesome. Tons of value.
Thank you, Rachel.
Oh,
Great job.
yeah. Thank you. Lots of nuggets there.
Thank you.
It was awesome. Great help.
Can you repeat
Awesome.
your group page again?
Repeat my what?
The group page you were saying where your 5 tips are?
Yes, it's attract, grow, connect.
Oh, okay. I've got that. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And all the leaders are involved in that page. We're just posting different social media tips. There's some great videos by other leaders. And, but I guess the last thing I'll say is don't spend too much time like researching and doing all of that. Just do the activities and you will propel your business forward. It's about doing the do, not trying to take in everything and then doing the do. Just get started. You'll find it amazing. So.
Rachel, really quick, one question. You said that the website for the Attract, Grow, and Connect is on Facebook. Is it on a Facebook link?
It's a Facebook group called Attract, Grow, and Connect. And it's all about how to do social media in a way that's not icky and spammy.
Okay, great. I just wanted to know where it was. Thank you, Rachel. It's very informative. I appreciate all your time. Thank you so much. I'm super excited.
Great. I'm excited for you as well, Gina. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other questions?
Yeah, I had a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so you had mentioned about connecting with an upline that had the same kind of symptoms or issues that a potential customer may have, that you want to connect them with to get a second opinion of what could be done for them by using the products. Is there any place where we have a list of upline people and their symptoms or their maladies that we could know who is the person that we need to connect to? Or can our upline please take note of that, and maybe we have a list of the people within our group that we can immediately know we can access?
I think that's something you can ask your individual upline about. As far as having a list, I don't think we do have one. That's an interesting idea. But the more you stay plugged in, Valerie, the more you can listen to opportunity Zooms. This is a relational business, so the more you interact with other people here as you're growing and learning, I think it'll just become second nature for you. And then you can make those specific notes in your notebook, your dumping grounds, where you wanted to put those different things. I don't think there is something at this point.
Yeah, I never thought of doing that before, until you mentioned about connecting with your upline. And so I've never made a note specifically of each person and what their maladies were, unless it was somebody that I knew specifically that had in my customer base or potential customer base that I might want to connect with and tell them about the story of that specific person. But
Yep.
That's a great idea. I love it.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I just want to make sure we're going to get a recording because I'm working and I wasn't able to take notes. And kudos, this was a really fantastic training session. I'm thrilled.
Thank you, Myrna.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Very, very informational. I'm usually sleeping at this time because of my graveyard shift on Friday, but I stayed home last night sick, so I got the opportunity to see ya.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Any other questions before we hop off here?
Rachel, you slay the training. You are a beast.
Yes, fantastic.
Thank you, Francisco. All glory to God. And yes, somebody mentioned here that we can't talk about medical claims. So yes, there are If you don't have it, there's a quick photo snapshot of some of the words that we really shouldn't be using on social media when we talk about this. So make sure you get with your sponsor, or I think it actually might be posted in the Team Rise Ellepreneur page, which we all should be connected to. And if not, just ask one of the leaders if you can have that graphic, because it's just really helpful in narrowing down how you word things. So definitely important. All right.
Yay.
Well, go slay your businesses. Have an amazing week. And thanks so much for tuning in today. And I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Awesome job. You rock. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.